They've become a constant, if not irritating presence on our roads. However, many of those who usually push their fully laden trolleys perform an important recycling function. The old and sometimes rickety trolleys mean they face danger on the road. Enter 31-year-old social entrepreneur Sifiso Ngobese. Through a project called Abu Magereza, or Recycling Hustlers, Ngobese is helping scores in the inner city be safe on the road.
So what happens there is that I'm sure everyone is familiar with the guy who we find across the road pulling trolleys, collecting recyclable material. Obviously, the biggest challenge that we've identified with them is that the trolleys that they use, first of all, they're not conducive for what they do. They break down easily, they've got poor visibility. So we saw an opportunity within unconventional media whereby we realized that how do we create a much more safer trolley for them? How do we create a trolley that will make them collect more waste, for instance, and therefore earn a better income? And we did exactly that. So we created a trolley that is safer and that is much more lighter than what they currently use. The beauty about the project is that it's a social enterprise. So the guys not only get the gear that is safer, not only do they get a trolley, but they also share in the advertising revenue. For instance, if a company like Puma, for instance, advertises on the trolley, 10% of those advertising profits get distributed to the guys who are part of Abu Magereza project, because they realize that some of them come from very poor backgrounds, and we had to come up with a way in terms of how do we create additional income for them so they can somewhat elevate their impoverished lifestyles.
This year marks the 39th anniversary of the 1976 student uprisings in Soweto. And while the government has made significant strides in addressing education and socio-economic challenges, Ngobese believes the youth must also be proactive in uplifting themselves.
So June 16 for me means that the youth have another struggle that they're facing, and that is economic freedom. And I think they need to take it upon themselves to empower themselves and not necessarily be too dependent on the government, on the private sector, or on people just giving them handouts. But I think they should take it upon themselves in terms of, in the situation, in the environment that they're in, how can they provide solutions that can either better themselves and the ones that are around them.
21 years into our democracy, more still needs to be done in order to improve the lives of South Africans, particularly the youth. Ngobese and the various initiatives that he's part of are a shining example of what can be done when young people with a vision stand up and make a positive contribution. Vumani Mkize, Eyewitness News.